Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cat's Cottage. Got me some nice cup of coffee here this morning. Oh, that feels good going down. Now, yesterday I recorded. I see it's moving now. Should have been paying attention. Yesterday I recorded about 30 minutes and it wasn't there. It stopped recording right at the beginning and that was that. And I had no idea. I tried to load it down and it was nothing there. It was a blank screen. So I thought, just forget it. But that's why I put on those vacuuming video, vacuuming the floor. Oh gosh. But I don't know. Maybe it helps somebody, I need to vacuum. um, but anyway, I worked on my little clock. I had fun doing that yesterday, and I'm not through with it. And I'll show you. Let's walk, and I'll show you how far what I've done to it. Okay, let me swing it around now. Y'all just close your eyes if I walk and y'all get all dizzy. Okay, there it is. Well, up, yeah. There you go. I've got some things up here. They're hot glued up here. And some things further down. Further down. This is a little clock like a rod and reel. Here's the actual clock. I got the knobs painted. And I'm stopped about here. So I've got to figure out else what I'm gonna do inside here. And I thought about putting some hooks here and hang something from there. So anyway, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I guess I'll pedal with it some more. And I don't know what I'll do with it when I get through. I guess I'll leave it hanging there for a while. Just something, something to fiddle with. You get that urge to paint or mess around, and I think that's really why I bought it, so I could play with it. Oh, I watched the. I'm going to lose my mind about what it's called. Anyway, I watched the British Prime Minister. He came over, and I think the President Trump is just too nice. He puts up with all those young reporters, and they're screaming and hollering. They're asking stupid questions over and over. Shut up with the eggs, right? and so worried about those people that's been laying back at home drawing a big paycheck that we're on our tax dollar. They're so worried about them. But I don't know what these people, why they want to touch Trump, touchy-feely. They want to put their hands on him. They want to hand on his shoulder, tapping him on the leg, stuff like that. I don't know why all these leaders want to do that. Touchy-feely. That Frenchman was that way too. And then I do know, I guess it's true. I saw on the, couple information strips that in Great Britain they're arresting people for what they say on the internet and what they do on the internet. I think that's terrible. Those meme things, or what they call them, meme or memes, they're just jokes. But they don't like them over there. And they arrest people. I mean, they show videos of arresting people. Uh, and they're not guilty of anything but maybe passing on a look. They didn't make the comic themselves, but they send it to somebody else. And it doesn't hurt to laugh, you know. um, I mean, they make fun of everybody, you know, our people too. So, yes, they don't like it, but they're arresting people. And British Prime Minister was asked about that. And of course, he denied it. He said, "Oh, no, we believe in freedom of speech in our country. That's what we're most proud of." And that was a lie because they're arresting people. And I mean, you arrest those people and you never see them again. And then he said he was going to ready to put boots on the ground in Ukraine. That's not what President Trump wants. He wants peace. He wants peace. He wants everybody to calm down, step back, take a look at what you're doing. You're just tearing everything up, destroying everything. Step back, make peace. I think he's a great peace leader. And I don't know if people can see that. If they really see what's in the man's heart. He don't want, and when that British Prime Minister said, "We're going to put troops on the ground and our Air Force, we're going to be ready to go." Trump turned and looked at him like, "Are you kidding me?" Because Great Britain don't have that much. Y'all not that big. You don't have that big of an army. You need America. And then you're putting us on the ground too. We don't want to go to war anymore. We don't want to kill our sons and grandsons and granddaughters. We don't want to. Um, no, we're too busy killing them over here. It's not funny, but that's what I understand where I live. It's the most murderous place in the U.S. That's, that's why you don't see me out hanging out outside around the campfire anymore. Um, but yeah, um, you know, you you have to laugh at some things, and then you look back and say, "Wait a minute, might not be that funny." We say have a gold card to get. You want to get into America? You want to be in America? Buy a gold card. That was hilarious at first. Really laughed at that, and I thought, wait a minute, everybody's trying to knock down our borders to get in. I can pay for it, like going to a concert. But anyway, well, today's Friday, and it's my discount day again. I told you I have a second discount day, so if I get a chance, I'll swing over there, see if they got anything. Hair sticking up. See if they got anything that I don't need, like another clock to paint. Like I don't have enough clocks hanging around here. I could give clocks away as gifts. I mean, I got so many. People come over to visit. I'm already giving them candles. You like a candle, please take a candle so I can go buy some more. And then I tell them how to burn it like they don't know how. Oh, speaking of that, let me light mine. Oh, got my matches. Oh, oh, this is the longest lasting candle. Thank you, teacher. Wow, it's not real smelly. I mean, it don't stink and it don't smell like just a candle. But boy, look how high that thing is. Sometimes I leave it over here and forget about it. Of course, I always blow it out and put it out before I leave because if I can remember it. Because one time I had a candle like this um, burning on my coffee table. And underneath the coffee table, I had this big wool rug. And I had this burning, like this on the coffee table. And I had company. My daughter was here. And we were in the kitchen fooling around. She said, I smell something. And I said, so do I. So I stepped around the corner, and this glass had burned down low, and it had burst. And the flame stayed on the wax, and it dripped down off the table. Didn't burn the table, just dripped down off the table. And when it hit that wool rug, it just really started burning. It wasn't huge or anything. It was just a low flame about like that. But I had caught it just in time. And um, so when they get down low, I throw them away. I throw them away after that experience. I throw them away. Oh, something else I did. I did. I'll tell you about this stupid thing I did. Oh, this is when I was single and living in an apartment not far from here. Um, I had a lot of wick. It was a condo, and I lived upstairs with a bedroom, and I set this on the table, and it had a lot of wick I didn't want to cut it off. I thought, well, yes, I'm kind of I was trying to be cheap and try to make more wax. So I went and got some wax out of the kitchen, those squares, and broke it up, put it down in there, and it melted. So I said, okay. I'm moving around the apartment, went downstairs and everything, come back upstairs, and there was an inferno going from here straight up and lapping on the ceiling. I've never seen such a fire. Oh my gosh. I was renting, I didn't want to get sued. And so I, of course, smothered it and put it out down here. But it was that wax and those squares that you put in cans to make candles and seals for canning and all that. That stuff is highly flammable. It's not meant to be put in these jars and burned with a wick. Don't do it. Anyway, um, needless to say, I had to paint the ceiling. It didn't get out of there and didn't go on the floor and burn any carpet. It just went straight up and was lapping the ceiling and, sooting it up. So, oh gosh, that scared me to death. I've never forgotten that. So, don't mix wax. Trying to make your candle bigger or better. Don't mix wax. But yeah, don't do that anymore. Ooh, it's strong. Got it strong today. Oh, that's about it. That's about all I did yesterday. Let's see, my husband's still going back and forth to the hospital, and I swept and I vacuumed, and of course there are other normal things you do. Um, Cooked some plain vegetable in a pot with no meat, nothing like that, just plain vegetable. And I worked on my clock there. I don't make very good videos. I know that. I block a lot of the view with my big body and my hands and all that. But it is what it is. I guess I'll stay the same. But it's been a lot. What I say is I appreciate all those new subscribers. Uh, Thank y'all very much for wanting to watch this silly person here. Um, I certainly appreciate it. And sometimes it's fun to show y'all things. And you know, I probably could learn from a lot of y'all. But you know, we could learn from each other. But I realized I had kind of kept my world small, and I didn't realize that as you get older, you make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. Um, I don't know why that is. Well, maybe you do less, or you not, or you've been there and done that, put it that way, and you're not concerned. And then when you don't fool with all those other things, you forget what they are. You forget what they're called, or about them. You forget them. It'll take you a little bit to remember it, but yeah, you close your world in, and I've noticed that's what I've been doing. My world is like coming in. Everything's getting closer to me. My dishes are closer to me. My cooking stuff is closer to me. I've got it in a small space. That's why I think older people could live in the tiny houses, because they could live in tiny houses. They could get rid of all their things, that are in the closets and all that, and they could just live in that little space. Um, the way I used to do was I would put things away in the garage or wherever, storage, and then I would switch out. I would get things out and I'd switch them out, and that's the way I did. All the time I'd switch things out, and my husband got confused about that. He thought when I stored something away, put it in a box and put it in the garage, where he thought I was through with it, that I wanted to get rid of it. And we had button heads about that all the time. I mean, somebody'd come over and he'd give them all my boxes. And I'm like, what? You know, I was gonna use that. He said, you weren't using it. You had it in the garage. I'm like, no, you understand? I was gonna trade it out. You know, and he didn't get the trading out stuff. And most men don't. Most men don't. You know. And he's telling me yesterday now. He said, it's time to get all the Easter stuff out, isn't it? Get your Easter stuff out and get your rabbits out and sit them around. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? I had to, I had to put them suckers back up if I get them out. So now I try to leave it all here. It's all here. That way I don't have to pack it back and forth. Oh, and when I give somebody something, I think they just take it. They think my house is too full and they take it so they can throw it away. I do think that's what they do, you know. Take it, throw it away or sell it, whatever. But they don't keep it. Mm-mm. I never hear about it. I never see it again. Or I never hear somebody say, "Oh, I thank you for that, whatever." I put it, man, that looks so good in my living room. Never see it, hear it, yeah. And you can look at photographs that show you, you know, house is bare as can be. There's nothing in it. I think they take it just so they can empty my house. They think my house needs empty. But that's a waste because I'll just go get something else. You know, I'll fill it back up. You try to empty my house. Oh, let me empty this house. Oh, I'm so worried about Grandma. I mean, if we don't get rid of this stuff, we're gonna have all this burden when she dies. You know, we're gonna have to, you know, clean this up, and I don't want to do that. You know, she needs to unload that stuff. You're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it so wrong. You know, nobody's asked you to unload this stuff. Who asked you? You know, you're not burdened with me. Oh gosh, I wish my mother would have left the house full of stuff. I definitely do. That was just, I just would have loved it. I was like, oh yes. Well, let me pack my bag. I'm ready to go. I'll be there, whatever it takes. Yeah, that'd be so much fun. Uh, and then go through all the memories. You know. Um, I think people are missing the boat. Well, the lady across the street tricked her mother into a retirement, into a village. You know, a home, a room, a room with a bathroom, concrete walls, and all that wonderful stuff. You know, and took her stuff and dumped it in the street, every bit of it, and called. We pick up junk. Um, what other anything she could call, she had them come and unload it out of the house. Instead of, you know, I told her, so why don't you have an estate sale? Why don't you call an estate dealer and tell them you got a house full that's not yours, and you tricked your mother into a nursing home, and you're selling her stuff before she croaks. But you know, she threw it in the street. And I'll tell you, I picked a lot of it up, but there was too much there. Um, so I started giving, giving it to people. Oh, you need this, you need that, you know. Gosh almighty. Um, but it's such such a shame to be treated like that and treat your belongings like that. And that's not the only time I saw that. I've seen that a lot. I have seen that a lot. So somebody come ask me, all of a sudden ask me they're going to take me to dinner. No, I don't think so. I don't like restaurants. I'm staying right here. You'll have to try another trick. You can't trust nobody. Stay in your home as long as you can. Keep your freedom. I don't care how much they take. Oh, we get together. We go here. You want to go shopping? You don't have to worry about it. We all get in this little bus and we go over here. We go over there. And oh, we get together and we play cards. And how many times can you look at those same people in that same room and then go down to your concrete room with a bathroom? And if you're already there, God bless you. I know you got to make the best of it. I'm talking to those that ain't there yet and can prevent themselves from getting there. Oh yeah, I want there, and oh yeah, I won't have to cook anything. And but guess what? You only eat what you're allowed to eat, and only eat when they want you to eat. I'll tell you the funniest show. I watched all that show and I loved it. That British show, Still Game, and they got trapped into this. They were going to tear their building down, so they had to go somewhere. So they told them they could go into that retirement home and stay there as long as they wanted. Maybe stay for good, but it was hilarious. They finally busted out of there like but it was funny. The funniest part of it was on the announcement, the lady would call, pill time, pill time. And everybody, and the man said, don't go take that pill. It keeps you where you won't want to leave, where you can't leave. Oh, that was the most hilarious show. I must have watched that show And after it went off the air, I must have watched all those episodes all over again several times. That was. I usually don't like British comedy because it's a little, a little stiff and rigid, but they did a great job. It's hilarious, and it was so real. It's just like everything. Of course, in America here, we don't really have a bar to hang out at. If anybody here in America hangs out at a bar every evening, they're gonna get in trouble. They're gonna be in jail. Something's gonna happen to them. They're not gonna have this neighborhood bar that they can walk down to, and everybody, takes a drink, and everybody goes home and you know talks and carries on, has a good time. And no, they don't happen here. These bars ain't the same here. Somebody's gonna rob you outside, or beat you up, or rape you, or you're gonna get in a fight. Something's gonna happen to you. You can't do it here. Oh, we had, I don't know if y'all recall. Used to go down to just go to a tavern after the Salvation Army. We'd cut around and go have lunch at the tavern down the street. Well, that was okay. The owners were nice and everything, but the waitresses that we had all quit. They left eventually. Looking for a better paying job and all that. And the place was kind of isolated, wasn't a lot of customers. And but the last, waitress, me and the husband, we tried to make friends with her, but she would forget things like we weren't important. And she knew she was going to get a tip because it's added. So, and it cost us $30 every time, no matter what we ordered or how cheap we tried to get it. I mean, sharing pancakes and everything. It came out $30 every time, plus her tip. So, um, he still wants to go. I said, what do you want to go down there for? To be abused and then pay for the abuse? I said, I can go down the street this way and get anything I want down this way, and it'll be under $30. He liked to go in and see if that's what he liked. And there's nobody really to talk to. We were the old people that came in there. And when the business would get into trouble and get where they didn't have hardly any business, here we come. We kept the people, upright. Of course, the manager knew that. He'd come and, always say, glad to see y'all. Glad y'all came. How y'all doing? Nice man, and his wife too. And but yeah, the new waitress was, you know, and the other waitress we had, she was from Iowa. Sweetest girl I ever saw. Um, just out of her way and just really nice. And she wasn't fake. She wasn't fakey. She was real. She liked people. She really did. And but she left to. I understand she was making costumes. Uh, and I was thrilled to hear that she left for that job. That she was um, making costumes on the side, and she was making them for theater. And so she couldn't do that and waitress too, and then she had a new little boy. So I'm glad she took the better job, staying at home with her little boy and making costumes. That's the way to go, you know. So, but I hate it when she left. Just a selfish reason on my part. But anyway, um, we did take our one trip down the street here to the new Mexican restaurant, and every time we go by there, it's so packed. We'd be like, old people. They just put you over here by the kitchen, and we put you over here by the bathroom. Get in your little cubby hole. You get forgot. So pass on that. We'll go get a fish sandwich at McDonald's, you know, and leave from McDonald's. Don't stay in McDonald's. Don't sit down in McDonald's. It's too easy for something to happen there. Anyway, I guess I better go. It's 30 minutes. And I talked 30 minutes yesterday, but I'm sorry if anybody missed me because I thought I was visiting, but I wasn't. I ended up, all I had was a picture. And I thought, what happened here? But it has to be me. It's me. There's nobody else. There's nobody else here. It's me. But anyway, great talking to y'all, and y'all have a wonderful day. Bye bye.